Have you ever stopped to wonder who that voice occupying your mind really is? The one that comments on every decision, criticizes every step, and even questions who you are? What if I told you that this voice isn't always you, but merely the echo of everything you've learned to believe? Yes, it may sound strange, but here's a thought-provoking idea. The real you is not the voice. You are the one observing it. Now, imagine for a moment that this voice goes silent. What would remain? A terrifying void or an unexpected peace? The truth is, most people spend their lives running from silence, filling every moment with distractions. But what if it's in the silence that the answers to your greatest questions are hidden? Think about it. Have you ever given yourself the chance to listen to the truth that resides within you? We live in a world where being busy is synonymous with success, and silence is almost taboo. But what no one tells us is that it's in silence where we find what truly matters. Inner freedom, genuine presence, the peace that doesn't depend on external circumstances. All of this begins when we learn to quiet the noise around and within us. And yet, the doubt arises. But how do I do that? How do I disconnect from the chaotic mind and connect with the present moment? That's exactly what we're going to explore. In this video, you'll discover how to transform silence into a powerful tool to understand your inner voice and free yourself from it. After all, when you stay silent, something extraordinary happens. The truth finally finds space to speak. Have you ever stopped to listen to your own thoughts as if you were watching a movie? Imagine sitting in a theater with a giant screen in front of you, and each of your thoughts playing out like a scene. The key detail is this: you are not the protagonist. You're in the audience, observing everything. This is the role of the observer. It's like discovering that you are not the chaos unraveling on the stage of your mind, but the calm awareness that watches it all. This realization could be the first step toward achieving the much-desired inner freedom. Sometimes, the inner voice might seem like a wise friend, but other times, it behaves like an incessant critic. How many nights have you spent replaying past mistakes or anticipating problems that never came to pass? This voice seems to be in control, but in reality, it only has the power you give it. Try this. In a moment of distress, ask yourself, is this thought truly mine, or is it just an echo of fear? Realizing that you can question your inner voice is like opening a window in a stifling room. The gentle breeze that flows in is your peace returning. Now, imagine your thoughts as clouds floating across the sky. Some are light and fleeting, while others are dark and heavy. Yet none of them alter the vast blue sky behind them. You are the sky, not the clouds. When you detach from what your mind insists on telling you, you create space to see the authenticity that has always been there. A simple exercise to practice this is to take 3 minutes daily to listen to your thoughts without reacting. Just listen. Let them pass, like a calm spectator watching clouds drift by. Interestingly, the more you observe, the less trapped you feel. The inner voice might still shout, but it doesn't define who you are. Think of it as a radio playing in the background of a room. It makes noise, but you have the choice to tune into a different station. The next time a persistent thought arises, try a metaphor. Imagine you're holding a rope with that thought tied to the end. Now, let go of the rope. Notice how the tension fades, leaving you feeling lighter. It's not magic, it's practice. Some people worry, what if I lose control by ignoring my mind? But the truth is, it's in letting go of this false need for control that you discover your true strength. As the observer, you don't need to fix the inner voice, only recognize it for what it is, one piece of a larger game. A simple example is when you feel anxious before an important meeting. Instead of identifying with the fear, tell yourself, I feel anxious, but I am not anxiety. This shift in perspective can transform the entire dynamic. As you become more familiar with this idea of observing, you'll start to notice something powerful. Inner freedom doesn't come from silencing the mind, but from coexisting with it in harmony. Just as the sky accepts all clouds, you too can accept your thoughts without being defined by them. But this is just the surface. There's an even deeper practice that turns the simple act of silence into a powerful tool for cultivating peace. Let's explore that next. Have you ever allowed yourself to sit in silence, doing nothing, not even trying to make sense of your own thoughts? At first, it might feel uncomfortable, almost like stepping into an empty room after a loud party. But over time, you realize that silence isn't empty. It's a space where answers emerge, where your inner presence begins to speak. It's as if, by quieting the external world, you finally hear the voice of your own soul. Believe me, this simple practice is one of the most powerful tools for cultivating peace and inner freedom. Silence isn't just the absence of noise. It's the stillness that allows you to see life with clarity. Picture yourself standing by a calm lake. When the surface is disturbed, you can't see the bottom. But when the waters settle, everything becomes clear. The same applies to your mind. Setting aside just 5 minutes a day for silence, free from distractions, is like letting the waters of your mental lake become still. Suddenly, you'll notice things that were hidden in the chaos. Some might argue that sitting in silence is a waste of time, but in reality, it's an investment. Think of the great spiritual teachers. All of them emphasize the importance of silence as an essential practice. Here's a practical exercise. When you wake up, before reaching for your phone or diving into your to-do list, sit quietly for 3 minutes. Simply focus on your breath as it flows in and out. This small habit can shift the energy of your entire day, creating a space of peace where there was once only hurry. Silence also has the power to reconnect us with the present. In a world where we're constantly rushing, stillness reminds us that life is happening now. When you stop to hear the wind or feel the simple beating of your heart, you realize something magical. These moments were always there, waiting for you to notice them. It's in these moments that you experience true presence. You don't need to go on elaborate retreats. Silence can be found in the pause during a cup of coffee or a walk without headphones. And then comes the question, why are we so afraid of silence? Perhaps it's because silence forces us to face parts of ourselves we'd rather avoid. Yet, it's in this confrontation that we find our authenticity. In silence, you discover that you don't need to fight your thoughts. You can simply let them come and go, like waves on a beach. Try a day of intentional silence. Turn off your devices, avoid unnecessary conversations, and observe how your body and mind respond. At first, it might be challenging, but soon you'll feel the relief of not needing to fill every space with words. The most fascinating thing about silence is that by reconnecting with it, you make room for something even deeper, an inner peace that doesn't depend on external circumstances. It's as if, by listening to silence, you find the thread that weaves all aspects of your life together. But there's a secret that science has uncovered about this practice, something that confirms what spiritual teachers have always known. Want to know how neuroscience explains this transformative calm? Let's unravel that in the next step. Imagine if you could measure inner peace as easily as you measure your heart rate. Wouldn't it be amazing to know that those moments of silence or meditation are literally transforming your brain? The good news is that science has proven this is possible. Studies on mindfulness and meditation have revealed something fascinating. These practices aren't just relaxing, they rewire your mind. It's as if every mindful breath is a key, unlocking doors to greater freedom and authenticity. The human brain is an extraordinary machine, but it also has its quirks. It's wired for chaos and survival, which explains why it often feels like you can't turn off your thoughts. But here's the secret. The same brain that generates racing thoughts is also capable of creating peace. Neuroscientists have discovered that just 10 minutes of mindfulness a day can reduce cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and increase serotonin production, the happiness hormone. So, that idea that peace is out of reach, it's not true. It's within you, waiting to be activated. Want to know how this works in practice? Try this. Sit comfortably and focus on your breath. Inhale slowly, counting to 4. Hold your breath for another 4 seconds, and exhale gently over 6 seconds. This practice, known as diaphragmatic breathing, calms the nervous system and reduces feelings of anxiety in minutes. And the best part? It's a tool you can take anywhere, from a chaotic traffic jam to the quiet of your room. The impact of inner peace practices extends beyond the mind. It benefits the body, too. Research shows that regular meditation can lower blood pressure, improve sleep quality, and even strengthen the immune system. Think about it. By cultivating presence and silence, you're not just caring for your mind, you're also nurturing your body. It's as if inner balance creates an invisible shield against the stresses of the outside world. But you might be wondering, does this really work for skeptics like me? The answer is a resounding yes. Even the most rational thinkers are often surprised when they experience the power of these practices. Jon Kabat-Zinn, the renowned creator of mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, explains that peace isn't a spiritual luxury but a measurable, accessible skill. In other words, you don't have to believe blindly. Just try it. When you realize that inner peace isn't something mystical but an achievable state confirmed by science, everything changes. You begin to see that you do have control over how you respond to the world. And as you incorporate small habits like these into your daily routine, they become powerful tools for creating a more authentic life. But what about the emotions that always seem to disrupt this peace? Is there a practical, liberating way to deal with them? Let's explore how to let go of that emotional baggage. How many times have you caught yourself replaying a difficult conversation or a moment of pain, as if trapped in a never-ending movie? The memories we carry are often no more than echoes of the past, yet they continue to affect us as though they were happening now. Emotional weight doesn't lie in the events themselves, but in our struggle to let them go. Imagine carrying a backpack full of stones for years, only to realize you can simply set it down. Liberating, isn't it? That's the essence of letting go of emotional baggage, releasing what no longer serves you. The secret to freeing suppressed emotions isn't ignoring them, it's acknowledging them. Think of emotions as uninvited guests in your home. You don't need to forcefully eject them, but you also shouldn't let them take over. A simple practice is to name the emotion when it arises. Say, "This is anger," or "This is sadness." It may sound basic, but the act of identifying what you feel creates a gap between you and the emotion, transforming chaos into something you can observe. And as you already know, the observer is always freer than what is observed. Another powerful tool for letting go is journaling, or therapeutic writing. Grab a notebook and write about something that still weighs on you, a regret, a grudge, or even a fear. Write without censorship, as if no one else will ever read it. When you're done, read over what you've written and ask yourself, does this still make sense for the person I am today? More often than not, you'll realize that the emotional weight is tied more to the habit of revisiting the past than to something that still holds significance. Conscious breathing is another valuable ally in this process. Try the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for a count of 4, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly for 8. As you breathe, visualize the emotion as a dark smoke leaving your body. This simple physical act helps release tensions you may not even have been aware you were holding. It's like letting go of a rope that's been tightening around your heart. The most challenging emotions to deal with are often the deeply rooted ones, perhaps old wounds you've never fully confronted. For these, practicing acceptance is crucial. This doesn't mean justifying or ignoring what happened, but recognizing that the past cannot be changed. Ask yourself, do I really want this event to keep controlling me? By choosing to let go, you create space to live the present moment more authentically. Letting go is not a one-time act. It's a continuous practice. Each day, you can release a little more, creating room for inner freedom to flourish. But something interesting happens when you begin to let go. Your body also responds. There's an intrinsic connection between the mind and body, and understanding this relationship could unlock an even deeper level of peace. Let's explore this next. Have you ever noticed how the state of your body directly influences how you feel? When you're tense, your mind often feels cluttered with disordered thoughts. When relaxed, it's easier to find peace. The connection between body and mind is profound and often underestimated. Think of your body as the temple where inner freedom resides. If this temple is neglected, cultivating calm and presence becomes difficult. On the other hand, when you take care of it, you lay the foundation for your mind to flourish authentically. Movement is one of the simplest ways to release emotional blockages. Have you ever noticed how a walk outdoors can clear your mind? It's not just a coincidence. When the body moves, it helps dissipate accumulated tension. Try dedicating 10 minutes of your day to stretching or practicing yoga. Each movement is like a key that unlocks inner peace. For something practical, try this posture. Sit in a comfortable position, lean slightly forward, and stretch your arms out. As you stretch, take a deep breath and feel freedom expanding within you. Nutrition also plays a crucial role in this relationship. When you choose healthy, nourishing foods, you're feeding not just your body but your mind as well. A mindful meal, where you chew slowly, savor the flavors, and appreciate every bite, is an exercise in presence. For example, try eating a piece of fruit with full awareness. Notice its texture, its scent, its taste. This seemingly simple act is a way to practice control over mental agitation while nurturing your body. Then there's breathing, the most direct link between mind and body. Have you noticed how your breathing changes when you're anxious? It becomes short and shallow. Now, try doing the opposite. Take a deep breath, feel the air fill your abdomen, and exhale slowly, as if releasing a weight. This practice not only relaxes the body, but also sends signals to your brain that everything is okay. It's amazing how something so simple can have such a powerful impact on your inner peace. Rest is another essential aspect that shouldn't be overlooked. Sleep is the foundation of a balanced body and a calm mind. If you have trouble sleeping, create a nighttime ritual. Dim the lights, disconnect from screens at least 30 minutes before bed, and listen to relaxing music or nature sounds. When you allow your body to recharge, your mind awakens clearer and more prepared to face the day with authenticity. Caring for your body is more than just a matter of physical health. It's an act of self-love and a spiritual practice. When you connect with your body, you realize it's not just a vehicle but an extension of who you are. Through this connection, you can access deeper levels of inner freedom. But often, what keeps us trapped in this cycle of tension and disorder is the illusion of control. Let's explore how to let go of this need in the next step. Have you ever felt exhausted trying to control every detail of your life? It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The harder you squeeze, the more it slips away. The need for control may feel like a form of security, but in reality, it's a trap. Life is vastly unpredictable, and attempting to dominate every aspect of it is like fighting against ocean waves. The more you resist, the more fatigue you accumulate. In the end, the only thing you can truly control is how you choose to respond. The illusion of control doesn't mean abandoning your plans or goals. It means learning to navigate with flexibility. Think of a sailboat. You don't control the wind, but you adjust the sails to take advantage of its direction. For instance, when faced with an unexpected situation, ask yourself, what is truly within my control here? More often than not, the answer lies in your choices and attitudes, not in the events themselves. This simple act of reflection can transform anxiety into clarity. It's essential to understand that the need for control stems from fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown. But fear, like thoughts, is just a passing cloud in the sky of consciousness. Imagine letting go of a rope you've been gripping tightly. That's what happens when you trust life instead of trying to shape it every second. Try this now. Close your eyes, visualize something you're trying to control, and imagine yourself loosening the reins. The sense of relief that follows is the beginning of your inner freedom. A simple practice to challenge the illusion of control is to record moments when life positively surprised you. Maybe a plan that went awry led to something better, or a risky decision brought unexpected growth. Revisiting these examples creates an internal manual of trust. You'll realize that what seemed like chaos was often life steering you toward where you were meant to be. The illusion of control also disconnects us from the present moment. When we're too busy trying to predict or shape the future, we miss the beauty of the now. To counterbalance this, set aside a moment each day to practice presence. It can be something as simple as washing dishes or walking, but do it with total attention. Feel the water running over your hands or the ground beneath your feet. In this state of surrender, you experience peace. Letting go of control is an act of courage, not resignation. It's a conscious decision to trust the flow of life. When you let go, you create space for unexpected and beautiful things to happen. And as you practice this trust, you'll realize that true power lies in accepting what is, rather than resisting it. But there's an even more powerful tool for cultivating this acceptance: visualization. Let's explore its transformative potential next. Have you ever considered the power your mind holds to create realities? Visualization is more than an imaginative exercise. It's a powerful tool that can transform your relationship with inner freedom. When you visualize, you're literally training your brain to believe in and act toward what you imagine. It's like planting seeds in the fertile soil of your consciousness. If you nurture them, they grow, bloom, and eventually become part of your reality. Imagine, for example, a hectic workday. Before you begin, close your eyes and visualize yourself calmly and focused as you complete each task. See yourself facing challenges with serenity and ending the day with a sense of accomplishment. This practice may seem simple, but neuroscientists explain that the brain doesn't easily distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. In other words, by visualizing moments of peace and presence, you're conditioning your mind to replicate those experiences. Want to try it now? Close your eyes and picture a place where you feel completely free and at peace. It could be a serene beach, a quiet forest, or even a cozy room in your home. Imagine the sounds, colors, textures, and even the smells of this place. Feel what it's like to be there, with a light heart and a clear mind. When practiced regularly, this exercise helps rewire your emotional patterns, bringing more authenticity and balance into your life. Visualization isn't just about creating fictional scenarios. It's a practice that guides your actions in the real world. For instance, if you aim to have greater control over your emotional reactions, visualize yourself calmly and resiliently facing challenging situations. Picture yourself taking a deep breath before responding to something that would normally irritate you. Over time, this mental image begins to shape your automatic responses, like training an emotional muscle. Moreover, visualization helps cultivate gratitude and optimism. Try setting aside a moment at the end of each day to visualize all the good things that happened. It could be something as small as someone's smile or a pleasant conversation. These images reinforce in your mind the idea that, despite challenges, there is beauty and goodness around you. This simple practice can radically shift how you view your life. When you begin to use visualization as a tool to expand your inner freedom, you realize that your mind is more than a place for random thoughts. It's a creative space, a field where you can plant the ideals of peace, presence, and self-mastery. Interestingly, as you practice visualization, you're also preparing yourself to live more openly and vulnerably. Let's explore how this happens in the next step. Living openly is like opening a window after years of keeping the curtains closed. Fresh air rushes in, light illuminates forgotten corners, and you feel a new kind of freedom. But why do so many people resist this practice? The answer lies in fear. Fear of being exposed, rejected, or facing vulnerability. Yet living with a closed heart is like wearing heavy armor. It protects you but also prevents you from experiencing the lightness of authenticity. The courage to live openly starts with small acts. It could be as simple as sharing a feeling with a friend or saying no to something that doesn't align with you. Imagine being in a conversation and, instead of automatically agreeing, choosing to express your true opinion. That moment, as small as it may seem, is a step toward inner freedom. When you live openly, every authentic choice becomes a declaration of who you truly are. A practical exercise to embrace vulnerability is the practice of gratitude. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. These could include people, experiences, or even the simple fact of being present in a beautiful moment. This practice not only opens your heart, but also trains your mind to focus on what's good rather than what's missing. As you cultivate gratitude, you realize that living openly isn't just possible, it's essential for experiencing life in its fullness. Another important aspect of living openly is connecting with others. When you allow yourself to be seen, you create space for deeper, more meaningful connections. Think about a conversation where you share something personal and, in return, receive empathy instead of judgment. These moments reinforce the idea that vulnerability isn't weakness, but a bridge to authentic relationships. Try radical honesty in your next interaction. Share something true about yourself that you would normally keep private. Notice how this transforms the dynamic. Living openly also means saying yes to opportunities that arise, even if they bring uncertainty. It could be a new experience or a challenge that feels intimidating. What matters is taking the first step, knowing that the unknown often holds the most rewarding moments. A practical tip is to create a list of things you'd like to do but avoid out of fear. Choose one and take a small step toward it. This practice builds emotional resilience and expands the boundaries of what you believe is possible. Living openly doesn't mean you'll never face difficulties. On the contrary, it's about accepting life's imperfections while choosing to embrace it anyway. Every experience, good or bad, enriches your journey and contributes to your growth. By adopting this approach, you discover that living openly is also a way of finding peace with yourself and the world around you. But there's something essential to remember. This journey is not linear. It's a continuous cycle of learning and acceptance, as we'll explore in the next step. Life isn't a straight line, and self-discovery even less so. Imagine your journey as a spiral. You may encounter situations that seem to repeat old patterns, but with each turn, you're operating at a higher level of awareness. This realization is liberating because it helps you accept that highs and lows are part of the path. True inner freedom isn't about never falling. It's about learning to rise with greater wisdom and authenticity each time. A common example of this can be found in emotions. You might have dealt with anger or sadness before, but suddenly, these feelings resurface with intensity. This doesn't mean you're regressing. It's simply a new opportunity to work on these aspects of yourself at a deeper level. By accepting that the process is cyclical, you free yourself from the pressure of arriving somewhere and begin to value each stage, no matter how small it may seem. Embracing the cyclical nature of the journey also teaches us to have compassion for ourselves. Everyone has days when practicing presence or maintaining inner peace feels impossible, and that's okay. These moments are like storms that eventually pass, leaving the sky clearer. To make this practical, start journaling your daily highs and lows. When you revisit your notes, you'll see how even the difficult moments contributed to your growth. Another important aspect is embracing the lessons that come from failure. Imagine an artist who makes a mistake while sculpting. Instead of discarding the piece, they use the error to create something new, perhaps even more beautiful than what they originally envisioned. The same applies to your life. Every stumble is an opportunity to reassess and adjust. Ask yourself, what is this situation trying to teach me? This simple reflection turns challenges into stepping stones for growth. Additionally, it's essential to cultivate patience with the process. We live in a society that values immediate results, but self-discovery doesn't follow that logic. It's like planting a tree. It takes time for the roots to take hold and the fruits to appear. Meanwhile, you learn to appreciate slow, consistent growth. Practice this by setting aside moments to celebrate small victories, like a day when you observed your thoughts without judgment or a moment of genuine connection with someone. By accepting that self-discovery is a continuous journey, you realize that each day brings a new opportunity to learn, grow, and connect with your essence. It's in this infinite cycle that the beauty of life truly resides. But to live this journey fully, it's essential to have a clear goal, achieving true inner freedom. Let's explore how that can be accomplished in the next and final step. True inner freedom is not a destination you arrive at, but a state of being you cultivate daily. It's like tending a garden. You can't control the weather, but you can plant, water, and protect your flowers so they thrive. This freedom doesn't mean escaping problems or responsibilities, but living in harmony with what's inside you, regardless of what happens around you. It's the point where presence, peace, and authenticity converge. Often, we mistake freedom for the absence of difficulties. But true freedom lies in the ability to remain calm even amid chaos. Imagine standing in the eye of a storm. The wind howls, the rain pours, yet within you, there's an unshakable stillness. This is the essence of inner freedom. To cultivate it, practice presence. Take 5 minutes each day to sit in silence and observe your breath. This simple act is like anchoring yourself in a safe harbor while the waves of the world crash around you. Another essential step is letting go of the idea of perfection. Life will never be entirely predictable or flawless, but that doesn't mean it can't be fulfilling. Think of an artist who finds beauty in the imperfections of their work. Similarly, you can find freedom by accepting life's ups and downs. Create the habit of repeating simple mantras like, "I am free, even in chaos." These words, spoken with intention, can reprogram your mind to seek peace instead of resistance. Inner freedom also requires the courage to live authentically. This means aligning your actions with your values and not allowing yourself to be shaped by others' expectations. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? What makes my heart come alive? Answering these questions and acting on them is a profound act of bravery. Try making a list of 3 things you can do today to live more authentically. It might be as simple as saying no to something that doesn't resonate with you, or dedicating time to something you genuinely love. Finally, remember that inner freedom is not something you need to achieve. It's already within you, waiting to be uncovered. It's like a treasure buried beneath layers of fear, doubt, and the stories you tell yourself. By shedding those layers, you uncover the peace and clarity that have always been there. A practical exercise to reinforce this idea is to reflect each evening. Did I live according to my inner freedom today? If not, what can I change tomorrow? When you begin living this way, you realize that inner freedom isn't just about being at peace with yourself. It's about radiating that peace to the world around you, making every interaction lighter and every moment more meaningful. But this journey doesn't end here. Now that you've come this far, it's time to put all of this into practice, transforming knowledge into action and action into transformation. Let's explore together how to take these first steps. Reflect on everything we've explored together. How many times have you let yourself be trapped by thoughts that don't define who you are? How often have emotional weight or the relentless pursuit of control stolen your peace? Today, you've learned that inner freedom isn't something you need to achieve. It's a state that already exists within you, waiting to be rediscovered. So now the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Are you ready to release what no longer serves you, to quiet your mind and listen to the truth that comes from a deeper place? Remember, every moment is an opportunity to practice presence, detachment, and authenticity. And the best part? There's no rush. The journey toward freedom has no final destination. It's a path built with every choice you make. But now it's your turn to act. Why not start today? Take 5 minutes to observe your breath, letting your thoughts flow like clouds in the sky. Grab a journal and write about what's weighing on you. Or look in the mirror and repeat, I am the observer. I am free. Small actions like these lead to big changes over time. Now, I want to challenge you. What part of your life are you ready to transform? Share it with me in the comments. Tell me what resonated most with you in this video and how you plan to apply it to your daily life. Let's build this journey together, step by step, and support one another on the path to inner peace and freedom. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you'll never miss content that could transform your life. Finally, take these words with you. Freedom is within me. I am the observer, not the prisoner. Today, I choose to live fully. Take a deep breath, let the silence speak, and remember, freedom begins within us.